Now let's go with the circuit panel. This is the central part of the application, where you build and simulate your circuits. Starting with the toolbar. The first icon that looks like a gear opens the settings dialog. In this dialog you can configure settings for the application, circuit canvas, and simulation. In the first tab from left to right you will see the settings for the application, language, font scale, and user folder. Note that these settings are only applied when you restart the application. The next tab is about the circuit canvas. You can show or hide the grid and scroll bars. Activating the animation will show wires in blue or red color depending on the logic state, and animate the pins depending on state and pin type, input, output, open drain, etc. Canvas refresh determines the refresh rate in frames per second. And auto backup determines the time interval to save a backup copy of the circuit. Note that there is always a help button. You can click on it to show some brief explanations of each property. Continuing with Simulation tab. Here you can set the simulation speed and some parameters for non-linear, reactive, and logic components. We will explain these parameters in detail in other tutorials. The next group of icons is to open and save circuit files. The first one from left to right show a list with the last circuit used. Clicking on any item in the list will open it in the circuit canvas. Remember that you can hover the mouse cursor over any of these icons and get information about what it does. The next group is about the simulation. These two buttons are to start, stop, and pause, resume the simulation. And the next group is just informative and shows the actual simulation speed, load, and state. And finally, that lonely icon at the right just shows some information about the application. The circuit canvas is where all the action happens. I will create a simple circuit to see how it works. You can use the mouse wheel to zoom in or out, and the middle button to pan. Or use the context menu to fit the circuit in the window. Creating wires is just a matter of clicking in some pin and then clicking in another pin to close the wire. If you press Shift key and join two pins, they will connect automatically. To move a wire, use the middle button to grab it and then move. To change the properties of a component, double-click on it and change values in the dialog. Or use the context menu. Now we have our circuit finished, so let's push the power button to start the simulation. The simulation is running and now we can interact with the circuit. Nice, seems like it works.